Welcome to Small Business, Big Network, the podcast for small business owners who want big results from their networking. I'm Liz Drury, a freelance voiceover artist who knows that if you're not working, then networking could help. Nick Blanchard is the founder of ZoCo, which is short for Zoom and Coffee, a network that was founded thanks to the pandemic. Nick has been networking for a long time, and in fact, when he took over his father's business after his father passed away, he said that networking is what kept the business going. Thank you very much for being my guest on the podcast today, Nick.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I feel very, very honoured and very privileged. Thank you very much, Liz.
Now, I think it's fair to say that you're all about networking, which is what we're here to talk about. But first of all, I spotted something on your LinkedIn profile yesterday that jumped out at me. So let's just talk about the fact that you're a funnel manager at the Bushy Park Run. And for anyone who doesn't know anything about Park Run, tell us why the Bushy Park Run is significant, Nick.
Wow, yes, I am, yes. I turned 50 long time ago, and I've known about Park Run locally to me forever. One of those community events that happens, and I turned 50. My dad was a runner. I've never been a runner, not my thing at all. Turned 50, I thought, you know what? I'm overweight, need to do exercise. So I went along. I did a couple of hundred runs. I dragged my son along and a friend along. It was Saturday morning. It was just such a beautiful part of my Saturday morning routine. Then I had an injury and I became a volunteer. So I manage it now. I don't run it, I manage it. And I've got into a particular role that suits my personality down to the ground. It's part of my routine every Saturday morning, without rain or shine, all year round. In fact, I just won an award for the most appearances last year. I'm there at sort of 8:45, and I do a particular role. We have between 1,000 and 2,000 runners every Saturday, and it's where it all started in 2004. So yeah, it's a fantastic community event that brings together runners, walkers, and it's just Bushy Park. So what's not to love about Bushy Park at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning?
Yeah, well, I'm a park runner, but I haven't done my Bushy Park pilgrimage yet because I'm quite a long way from London, but I will get there one day.
I will give you a very, very warm, special welcome.
I shall look forward to that. So let's get back to the networking now, then, and your background first of all, Nick. So what was it that you did that kind of got you into networking? I believe you did business studies at college. What happened from there?
Oh God, way too long ago. But yeah, good idea. Yeah, business studies. A bit of a wasted time at college, really. Kind of. I was very immature mentally and physically. So I left college at 19. I always knew I was going to go into the family business. The family business was there, and it's really weird. Without going too deep, for years I kidded myself that I knew what I wanted to do. It was only later on in life I realised what I actually did. I took the path of least resistance. Okay, so I slipped into the family business in 1979. And my dad, God rest his soul, he was more of a bigger picture kind of man. So day one, he said, right, Nick, you run it. That's what I do. I'm good at organising, running things, as has shown. So 79, I joined a family business. It was based in Wimbledon Park. We were a mailing house. We assembled direct mail. We had a factory full of women and machines. And we assembled direct mail. So put simply, if you're a company with, say, 5,000 catalogues and a database of 5,000, you give it to us, we assemble it and send it out. So I did that for 36 years. Leading on to your question, if I can continue, if that's okay. I was very much in production. I was not in sales, I was in production. The hiring and firing of people and making sure my clients were happy, but not in sales at all. And 20 years ago, a friend of mine said, do you want to come along networking? I thought, well, not really. It's not my thing at all. I mean, why would I want to network? But I did, and something perhaps told me, it must have been 16 years ago, actually, thinking about it. So something told me, Nick, do it. You're going to need this. It's going to be useful for you. My dad was alive. I went on networking, wore a cheap suit, did a dreadful 60 seconds, stammered. I had a stammer as a child, and when you get nervous, it comes back. So I stammered through that, and then gradually, I enjoyed. I did a thing called BRE, then I did 5 years at BNI. I enjoyed that. In the meantime, my father passed away quite suddenly. Okay, so the man I was working with for 30 years suddenly, left, and I needed all this support around me, didn't I? Oh my word, I need help, and of course I had that people next to me. So I had a business support lady, you call her VA now, but she was business support in those days, and she helped me get what I needed to get. I needed to change accountants. I needed to do all kinds of things, make the business much more modern, modernize the whole business. And she was there to help me. So yeah, if I hadn't done networking when I did, I don't think I'd have survived when my dad died, when he did quite suddenly. And so yeah, so that's what it. So yeah, so BRE became BNI and various other networks, and here we are now, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's something that people kind of don't realize when they start networking. They go in thinking it's all about making connections for their business and getting leads, but the support aspect is
Yeah.
so vital, isn't it?
Oh, it's crucial, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I lent into. It's weird actually because I'm thinking about this interview the last few days, thinking what I'm going to say, and of course my brain is remembering things. And I remember going to that BNI first of all, and I wasn't a member, and I met somebody in the room who then became one of my biggest clients. Okay, they weren't a member, I wasn't a member, but I met my biggest client. But as I said, it was a support. Other than that, I don't think I got any other work at all, bits and pieces, because it's such a niche industry. Okay, but I didn't go. I went along for the support, and yes, I wasn't used to running a business by myself. I was always with my dad, so I wasn't used to it. So they were the support network, and my well, she wasn't VA, but my support lady, she was my everything for the next 8 years. I met her networking, and she knew everything about me, my business, and it was just such incredible, support, as you say, incredible support. Yeah.
Yeah. So when did you move to starting your own network hub?
Well, yeah, again, it's kind of fate. I mean, I think I'm very cynical when it comes to all things spiritual and woo-woo, I believe it, but it's that you cannot deny it happens. I'd run several networks for other people and grown them to be very big. And the pandemic happened, and the network I was running at the time wanted me to carry on running exactly the same. March, April 2020, exactly the same, but online. And my head just wasn't right. We were in such shock those early days. What I did I saw myself as a Joe Wicks of the networking world. Because I ran a session every Monday at 10 and every Friday at 4, no cost, completely free, just 20 minutes, half an hour. It was not networking. It was a safe space to drop in and just, oh my word, what is happening out there?
Yeah.
Because the sole traders, I mean, the travel counsellors, their business was overnight, was gone. Just so many people were suffering, and it was such a shock. And nobody wanted to do their 60 seconds. Nobody wanted to do, hello, this is me, I'm an accountant. Nobody wanted to do that. They wanted to say, what is happening? What can we do? So yeah, so I did that for April, May, June, July. Took a rest in August, and that became, and it was almost like a higher power was saying, right, Nick, you've talked about running a networking company for long enough. What I'm going to do, I'm going to stop everybody from meeting. Okay. So you've got no excuse now. So get off your backside and do it. And so, so ZoCo was born. I live my life quite organically. I don't do too much over business thinking. Okay. And it felt right at the time. So the lady came up with the name, lovely lady called Lauren Roberts. I think she had 50 suggestions for me. I said, you've got to be joking. You've got to be joking. So I said, you had 3. And ZoCo was perfect for me because we were right in the middle of the pandemic. No one was meeting, but I knew that when it was over, I have to meet in person as well. Okay, networking is great and the online is brilliant, but you have to meet in person as well. And so, so ZoCo, Zoom and Coffee. But so September 2020, it was born. And as I've networked for 20 odd years, and I knew a lot of people through various networks. So slowly, ZoCo was born.
And how does ZoCo work then?
Obviously, what I wanted. There wasn't anything out there quite that fitted what I wanted. I wanted low cost. I wanted supportive, collaborative. You have to have some fun. I need to have some fun. And too many networking events are too dull for words. I've got ADHD, so I can't listen to a half an hour presentation by anyone. So again, organically, speed networking is all about speed online. The main meeting online has evolved, and it's a beautiful meeting. Breakout rooms, 3 members do 3 minutes. And then and the meetings in person as well. And yeah, I mean, certainly before the pandemic, I was going to 2 or 3 in person a week. Now I go to 2 or 3 a month. Okay, so I've evolved to do a bit of online and in person. So so low cost, no lockout clauses, no pressure to refer, because I would never run down BNI. I mean, I was there for 5 years. I learned a lot from BNI. I've got a lot of BNI friends. I still go to BNI sometimes. Got a couple of chapters near me. Okay, but I didn't like the lockout clauses. If you had to, you didn't have to refer to the accountant in your chapter, but if your accountant was no good and you knew that, you weren't going to refer to anything to him or her. Okay. So yeah, I think business relationships, I think it's changed certainly in the 15 years. Once upon a time, BNI was the only kid in the playground. Now there's thousands of us. Okay.
Yeah.
And so it's I wanted it to be low cost, no lockout clauses, no pressure to refer. Okay, because it's all about getting to know people. Sorry, that noise. Getting to know people, getting to like people, getting to trust people, building those proper long-term business friendships. And we have no minimum membership. So if someone joins for a month and don't like it, they can leave. There's no problem. I mean, why would you lock someone in for a year? There's no nowadays everything's so automatic. It's not costing me anything. Someone comes and doesn't like it, don't want to leave. Fair play, no, no problem at all. And so it's going well. It's going well.
Yeah. So tell me about the format of your meetings. What happens at a typical ZoCo meeting?
Okay, certainly the in-person meetings, we have not reinvented the wheel there. The in-person meetings are very much as, we have open networking, which is crucial. Open network 2025, people can mingle around. Then we sit down, and that moves on to the next. For me, the most important part of networking, okay, is that everybody has to be given the 60 seconds, okay, because everybody in that room wants to make sure everybody else in that room knows what they do. Okay. Now, I know we're not always listening. I'm aware of what happens at networking events, but when you go to a networking event, everybody thinks, right, I want everybody to hear my 60 seconds. So open networking, 60 seconds, comfort break. We have a 10 or 15-minute speaker, 1 or 2. And it's sometimes one-to-one, sometimes more open networking. And that's kind of it, really. There's no bells, buzzers, or whistles, or paddles or things to make sure people sit down. We have to kind of rely on people to know what 60 seconds feels like. So that's it. The online ones, we do two varieties. Speed networking, which is great fun. Speed networking used to happen in real life. So if you imagine a long table, 10 people down one side, 10 people down the other side, you talk to the person opposite you for 5 minutes, then someone rings a bell, and one side moves, so you get a new person in front of you. Now, in person, it just doesn't work because of the noise, the chairs, all the conversation either side of you hear. It just doesn't work. On Zoom, it's wonderful. Breakout rooms, it's just like this. One-to-one. So we have an hour speed networking, which is 10 4-minute one-to-ones. That's it. Some chat for me because I can't help myself, but so 10 4-minute one-to-ones. I save the chat and send it around, so everyone puts their details in the chat, and I send that round. Okay, so you might not be speaking to everyone in the room, but at least everyone will have your contact details. The main monthly meeting is really fascinating how it evolved, because we started, there were 50 people on the call. Everyone did their minute. Oh, word, what a torture that was. What torture, okay. So we've evolved. So we have, on the main meeting, we have 4 15-minute breakout rooms of 8 or 9 people. So 15 minutes, 8 or 9 people, someone leading it, so everyone gets to do their minute, and then a bit of open discussion. So you get to do your minute 4 times. And whilst everyone piles back in my room, somebody else introduces one of our members who does 3 minutes to the whole meeting, just 3 minutes. And again, they can talk about whatever they want. I will not impose rules. Some networks say, no, you can only inform, you can't sell. Okay. I just don't understand that. We're here to do business, to help each other. So so they have 3 minutes, they can come back to the room. Everyone goes, oh, I'm sorting out the next breakout room. They do 3 minutes to the whole room, 3 minutes and a minute questions, then off again for another 15-minute breakout rooms. So it's always kind of fast and furious, but it's kind of fast paced. So so it works well. And I've got a couple of collaborations. I love collaborating with other networking people. I'm very all about the collaboration. I mean, it's weird. I mean, business a long time, over 40 years now. And sort of 30 years ago, you saw a competitor, you ran away from him or her. Now you go towards them to say, oh my word, it's tough, isn't it? You know. So I collaborate with a couple of people. We run the UK's only fully deaf inclusive online networking. So we have BSL interpreters on each call, which is cool. So anybody out there that knows anyone hard of hearing or deaf who can't do online networking, you can now. So we do that with a guy called Phil Coley and Business Inclusive. That's great. Another guy called Phil G, all the Phils, Phil G up in the north. His mum used to run some amazing events. He'd come down south. And so I run with his crew. I do the back office stuff and run the meeting. So yeah, and they're both free. So yeah, a lot of collaboration, a lot of fun. I did a great event recently. Had a network like a pro, which worked really well. A lot of people still need a lot of teaching about how to behave online.
Yes.
And we did not shy away from the difficult subjects, and we covered those in four little interviews, and that went well. So yeah, so I'm loving the journey, loving the adventure so far, but much more to come.
Yeah, no, I love the fact that you've got a deaf inclusive network. How did that come about?
Again, I suppose this Phil Coley has been running it for a year or so, but he's a busy man, and when it comes to networking and admin and organising things, that's kind of my speciality. So he said, look, I want to run it, but I can't do the admin side. Should we do it together? Happy days, anything like that. But brilliant. So yeah, I do all the admin side of things, okay, and kind of co-host it with Phil once a month. And so yeah, see, one of his friends, a guy called Reg Cobb, who works at Deaf Plus, so there's a connection there. So I think Reg kind of lent into Phil and said, look, we'd love to do something. So Reg supplies the interpreters, and we provide the platform, as it were.
Yeah, brilliant. Now, obviously, the online meetings people can access from anywhere, wherever they are in the world. But where do you have your in-person meetings?
And that's a good. I'm going to pick you up on that. I need to be careful, okay, because not to give away my Ratner moment of my business, okay. But I said, first of all, I do not understand why people give online meetings geographic names. It's nonsense. I'm sorry. As you say, they come from all over the world. So why would you call it Teddington or something meeting? What are you saying? Only people from Teddington come to the meeting? It's bonkers. So I'll never give a geographic name to an online meeting. Currently, we meet in the in-person meeting. We're meeting Kingston, Cobham, Chiswick, Harrow, Dorking, and Guildford. And so yeah, kind of mainly down the south here, but with Harrow in slightly northern. So yeah, it's kind of and that's those are the 6 at the moment. My business model is very simple. If there's people out there who would like to open a ZoCo meeting somewhere else, there's no costs, there's no franchise to buy, there's no contract to sign, nothing like that. We'll just talk about the running of it. And again, the financial business model is very simple. There's nothing to pay, and the group honchos get free membership with ZoCo.
Perfect. So how many members do you currently have?
There's about 100. I think there's about 100 full members and about 40. Interesting. I have 2 tiers of membership. So the full membership is £22 a month, and that gives you all the online stuff plus access to the in-person meetings. Now, the in-person meetings, everybody pays a meeting fee when you go, even the members, okay, but non-members pay double. So £22, about 100. But there are people who don't want to do any online networking. I respect them totally. I understand certain people, just don't get online. They don't like it. So they are in-person members only, and they pay £9 a month. And again, they go just to the in-person meetings again, but they still pay an attendance fee. So yeah, about sort of 100 full members, about 40 odd in-person members.
And so, who are your members? What kinds of industries have they come from?
I would say very, very widespread. Not many trades at the moment. I think trades, possibly due to the pandemic, are very busy, are flat out, don't need to spend time networking. The business pours in through the front door. So it's a lot. I'm pleased there are a lot of women, because my experience of networking historically sometimes has been very male-heavy networking, and I don't like single-sex networking. I just don't agree with it. So lots of women, lots in the health and wellness industry, social media. I have accountants, I have solicitors, But mainly, but it's good. Mainly sole traders who need to belong to something, so they're not alone. Because being a sole trader is a lonely business, and now more and more of us are working online from home. The temptation just to turn your laptop on at 8 o'clock in the morning and spend all day on your laptop, not talking to another person until 6 at night, is very tempting. It's not healthy. Okay, you've got to get out there and talk to other people, because other sole traders have exactly the same problems as you. Their businesses might be different, but they have exactly the same problems as you. Finding clients, keeping them happy, getting money from clients, social media issues, tax issues. So they're mostly sole traders or in the sales industry, or their company push them into the sales industry. So sole traders, lots of women, health and wellness, accountants, websites, social media, but looking to grow all the time, obviously.
Yeah. And so what do you see that the future of ZoCo being? What are your plans for going forward?
Again, I warned you, I don't do kind of long-term goals and stuff. Perhaps I should. The online space, it can grow and grow and grow forever. I really hope it does. I want 1,000 online members, full members, absolutely. And again, groups, yes, some groups work better than others. Some are still struggling for numbers. Finding venues can be tricky sometimes, post-COVID times. But yeah, my long-term plans are to make it 10 times bigger within 10 years, hopefully.
And so if people want to come along, are they able to try it out without paying anything?
Absolutely. Again, online, you can try the first couple of meetings online completely free of charge. I am everywhere, social media. LinkedIn, you can't miss me. Facebook, you can't miss me. Instagram, you can't miss me. I'm everywhere. I've even made one TikTok video. So yes, definitely. The online stuff, come along free of charge, absolutely. The in-person meetings again, yes, come along and pay the member rate for the first time, absolutely. Before we kind of ask to join. But yeah, online, absolutely try one or two times, completely free of charge, no pressure to join, absolutely.
Brilliant. Well, we'll put the link to ZoCo in the show notes so that people can find you. But thank you very much for being my guest, Nick. I've really enjoyed our conversation this morning.
Well, thank you, Liz. It's been an absolute pleasure. And thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Small Business, Big Network. If you found this podcast useful, please do rate, review and subscribe. And don't forget to share it with the rest of your network too.